I'm going to be ranking the entirety of the UFC commentary team based on how well I think that they do on the microphone, who is the best commentator, and who should be fired immediately. Let's get right into it. I'm excited, bro. I got some shit to say. Here you can see the tier list. I feel like the tiers are very self-explanatory. I'm not going to break them down. Obviously, best commentator, best commentary, all the way down to never give them a microphone. Fire them immediately, please, UFC. I do not want to hear these person's voice again on the broadcast. First up, Jon Anik, obviously the best commentator. I don't think anybody's disagreeing with this. Who has a problem with JA? I think JA is like always going to be your one, maybe your two if you put like Goldberg or if you're a big Rogan fan, but we'll get to them because I can't see people putting Rogan at the best commentator. Now that I talk about, unless you're like a glazer for no reason, but an educated person would not put Rogan at best commentator. I might just leave him there. I'll put like my main three in best commentator, my top three that I want on the broadcast at all times. And then everybody else will be in great, solid, bad, never give them like. Let's continue. We're getting hot right now. Michael Bisping. Never give Michael Bisping a microphone. Michael Bisping. I think he's the most biased commentator on this list. I'm looking at him. Dude, he pisses me off so much. Every time he commentates on a fight night that has even one British fighter on it, they cannot lose. In his eyes, they have won the fight. When Leon Edwards, was it the Bilal fight that he was trying to say that there? You know what? There's an argument for Leon Edwards. He got 4-1, Mike. I know you want to support your friends and everything. Then get off the microphone. I don't want to hear your commentary. I don't want to hear your play-by-play. It's biased towards British fighters. It's blatant. There's an argument that Leon Edwards won the Bilal fight, guys. He said it on the broadcast, not like in a YouTube video, not in an interview after. He said it on the UFC broadcast that there was an argument that Leon Edwards won the Bilal Muhammad fight. All he did was win the end of round 5. The rest of the fight was Bilal Muhammad. I don't know where what is he watching, dude? He's insane. He's so biased. When Leon Murphy beat Josh Emmett, he was living it up that day. I'll tell you what, buddy. I hate Michael Bisping on commentary. It makes me want to turn it off. I'm so serious. It makes me want to watch the fights on mute. British fighters, I'll say this, he's decent when it comes to guys that he's not biased toward, but the clear, blatant bias in the rest of his commentary ruins it for me. So never give him a microphone. You don't see Jon Anik being biased. And if you do, it's very few and far between. He is an unbiased commentator. Michael Bisping cannot have a British fighter lose in his eyes. It's insane. Let's continue. We do also have on this tier list some personalities. I'm going to just go through, whatever. We'll just do it in order. Chael P. Sonnen. Solid. Chael P. Sonnen is a solid commentator. I don't have an issue with Chael. He doesn't do play-by-play. I haven't heard it. Maybe I don't think he does Contender Series or anything. He's more of the desk analyst guy. So he kind of doesn't really quite fit into this list, but he close enough. You know what I mean? Who doesn't like Chael? I mean, he's a funny guy, company man. He says funny things. On the analytic desk, they're kind of boring, I find. The analytic people. And if we're including Chael Sonnen in this, why are we not including Heidi Androl and Dustin Poirier, Anthony Smith, the other people on the desk? I know Dean Thomas is in here also, for those of you who are wondering. But why is Chael and Dean in here and the rest of the analyst people are not? I don't know. It's okay. It's whatever. I'm not complaining. I'm just wondering. I didn't make this tier list, by the way. I don't know who did. Sucks. I don't think that Chael would be good at play-by-play or good at being on the mic. I would be curious to see how his reactions are to live events, like a crazy, like I want to see Chael's reaction to the Max Holloway Justin Gaethje knockout, because I feel like Chael's not like a whoa. He's not that guy, you know. He'll just go like, wow, Max Holloway got a crazy knockout against Justin Gaethje. He doesn't say fighters' names right. That's the joke there. I think that's all I have to say about Chael. I'm gonna move on. If I think of something later, I'll bring it up. I like his YouTube videos. I like his podcasts. I don't watch them actively, but from time to time, I'll scroll upon them. And they're funny. I like them. They make me laugh. He's got good opinions about the sport as well. Except for the whole Jon Jones thing. I'm pretty sure he's on Jon Jones' side in this, and that's a very rare Chael P. Sonnen L. Let's continue. Dominick Cruz. I'm going to put Dom Cruz in great, although I do complain about him. I'm taking him for granted on the microphone. He's better than other people, like significantly better than other commentators. But he just has an unlucky streak of bringing up, this guy's doing this perfectly. And then that guy gets knocked out, right? Like, I can't give you an example, but I've seen so many videos and I've watched it live happen so many times where he'll praise a fighter just for them to get clipped seconds later. It's really just unlucky. I don't think he's unknowledgeable. I mean, clearly he's not stupid when it comes to the sport. He was a champion. I like when they have ex-champions on the desk. That's not where it is. I like when they have ex-champions on commentary because it makes it more understandable, right? They know what's going on in there because they've lived it. J.A., I mean, I'm sure, I think he trains, right? But I think he's a black belt, actually. But he hasn't lived in the octagon. He doesn't know what it's like to be in there. These other ex-fighters, they know what it's like. They know what they're talking about. Dom Cruz, he's good. He's a great commentator. He's very informative about whenever you're watching something I maybe I don't understand because it's, like some crazy grappling exchange. He will break it down very well. He breaks down striking very well. I mean, he might even, you know what? I said I'm going to do my top 3. He's going into my top 3. I'm very accustomed to having the DC Rogan JA triplet. But we'll get to Rogan. Okay, we'll get there. DC is up next. He's going into here. People say he's biased, and he is. He's biased towards American wrestlers. Oh, shit, dude. I might put him... No. He's biased toward American wrestlers, but not in the same way that Michael Bisping is biased. He will tell you the truth of what is going on. Even if the American wrestler is losing, he will say, this guy is losing this fight right now. Now, at the same time, he does also have that Dominick Cruz curse. I forget who it was. It might have been it was some Asian dude. It might have been like Li Jingliang or something. Some Asian guy. And he says, I think it was Li Jing. I don't think it was actually Li Jingliang, but I forget exactly who it was. And he goes, he's winning this fight right now. And then he got knocked out seconds later. I think it was against Damon Blackshear, maybe. I don't know. This is like a very hazy memory in my mind. But I like DC. He breaks down grappling exchanges, what the people have to do to get out of it, and what the other person has to do to advance it. He's very knowledgeable in wrestling. I've been seeing recently, I've been getting psyoped into like enjoying wrestling for some reason on my Instagram feed. I keep seeing DC explain how to wrestle. I don't train wrestling. I don't know why I'm getting these on my feed. I'm not complaining. It's very interesting content. I've seen him so many times talk about when he flipped Alexander Gustafsson. And he was saying, he didn't actually mean to flip him. Alexander Gustafsson just leaned forward and flipped by himself, and DC took advantage of it. But I'm a big DC guy. Amazing story, amazing person. Truly a role model for the sport. I should touch on this more with other guys. I want DC representing the UFC. I don't want him like being, the face of it or anything, but I'm saying if he's the guy that, you're maybe a new viewer, you decide, okay, you know what, I'll watch this UFC thing. I'll watch this fighting thing. And DC's on commentary. That's a very enjoyable experience. And it's, I mean, when I got into the sport, it was JADC Rogan. So it's got to account for something, right? I'm a big DC fan. I feel like he gets a lot of unnecessary hate because he talks about wrestling, but he's a wrestler. It's not like he's a striker who talks about wrestling. Like Sean O'Malley breaking down a wrestling exchange. He's a wrestler. He knows what he's talking about. Just because you don't like wrestling doesn't mean you don't like DC. I don't know. It's a weird. I don't understand the hate that he gets. And it's also probably Jones Glazers. I have to think about. It might just be Jones Glazers who are hating him on commentary. John Jones is never getting on the mic. He's never getting on the mic. We continue to Dean Thomas. I'm debating solid and bad just because I'll go solid. I'll put him on the same tier as Chael. I'm going to put Dean Thomas in the same tier as Chael because Dean Thomas, he's really good at breaking things down, explaining, again, like DC, what fighters have to do to win the round and win the fight. It talks like, what, twice a night maybe? He doesn't really, I don't understand this dynamic that they have where he's the fourth commentator, but only sometimes. And he's good on the desk. And he's a good, I forgot what it's called, the term that they use. He's good at what he does. He just isn't actually on commentary, except for like 3 sentences here and there. So, I got to put him in solid just for that reason. He's also a great coach. Former fighter way back in the day. He wasn't that good. That's okay. He wasn't that good of a fighter. I might put him down to bad, you know? No, I'm joking. It's okay, though. He doesn't have to be a great fighter. He's a good, decent, solid commentator. And I'm not mad at him being on the microphone. I don't have much to say about him just because, again, he doesn't talk that much. So we're going to continue here to Paul Felder. Oh, okay. No, he's going in great. I know I'm putting him bad. He's next. I'm putting him bad is next. Stay tuned. Why are all the images a different size? It's kind of making me upset. They should all be the same size. Whoever made this tier list is a Paul Felder. He's good. Dude, you know what? He's solid. He's not great. He's not great. He's not great at all. I feel like he's kind of mid-tier. I can't tell you any moment that Paul Felder has said something on commentary and I've gone, yeah, Paul, that's a great point. You know what I mean? He's decent play-by-play, decent everywhere, just all around decent. I don't think he's a phenomenal commentator. And I know that he like beats people up, you know, with that whole Twitter thing. Like I know Paul Felder would beat my ass, but I have to say, dude, be more decisive when you're commentating. Don't be middle of the road. If you want to move up, Paul, I know you're watching this. If you want to move up and become a better commentator, be more certain about what you're saying. You're saying middle of the road things that, you know, as an MMA fan, I already know. As a new fan, it would probably help. But you're not saying anything that's crazy. You're not saying anything that's making my mind think. You're just kind of talking to talk, right? Not that, I mean, Jon Anik kind of does the same thing, but his reactions are better. And he also brings up good points, good information about the fighters. I'm not saying that you don't do your research or anything. I'm just saying you're not indecisive. You're just middle of the road, right? Oh, this guy landed a kick and it hurt his opponent. Cool. Thank you, Paul Felder, for the quick and sharp commentary on the mic here. You've had some moments, like I can recall you, and I like your banter with Dom Cruz and DC. Honestly, he has good banter. I'm putting him back in great. He has good banter. He makes the broadcast enjoyable to listen to because he's jokey, you know? He says funny things. And they can kind of go back and forth a little bit, him and the other commentators. A lot of the guys are just speak when they can, but you will just have a conversation, not like a whole, like, you know, hour conversation, but you'll have a few, like, you'll say something, they'll say something, you'll say something. And it'll be good. And it feels like I'm part of the team, you know what I mean? So, yeah, I'm putting you in great. Congratulations, Paul, you've been promoted. Let's continue to Brendan Fitzgerald. Get the fuck out of here, Brendan. This guy cannot be the lead commentator. He gets paired up a lot of the time. It's if it's Fitzy, it's also Dom Cruz and Paul Felder. And I think that might be why Paul Felder has a bad name in my books. And John Gooden as well, but we'll get to John. Fitzy. And I understand you're filling some big shoes of Jon Anik being lead commentator, right? The rest of these guys aren't lead commentators. It's J.A. and Fitzy, and we'll get to the other ones. I mean, Goldberg and Gooden are next, so that's the other two lead commentators. I understand you're filling some big shoes, which is probably why I have you in bad. If I'm honest, you're probably a solid commentator, but you're similar with what I was saying about Paul. It's not like your play-by-play is, it's all right. You know what I mean? You're informed. You bring up, I'll say this, you bring up old fights in a good way. You're not a Joe Rogan like, this guy beat Melquizael Costa in 2017. He's a marauder. You bring up actually good points about old fights. You and Laura have a really good back and forth because you're both super knowledgeable about the sport. I'm talking directly to them at this point. I don't know why. I should stop talking directly to them. Brendan has very good, he's super knowledgeable. You can tell that I think he might have watched every single UFC in history. If not, it sounds like he has, because you can name him UFC 163. He will know who fought on that card in the main event. Obviously, he won't know the entire card. That's crazy. I don't even know who fought on 163. I've never seen it. Let's see. Let's Google what is 163. Fitzy is the guy that would know that Aldo fought TKZ at UFC 163. Even if he's never seen it, he just knows the sport. He knows not like he doesn't know the intricacies. He doesn't know the fighting. He knows the sport of UFC. He knows the history. Why is there a blinking light on my screen? I don't know. You can't see it on the broadcast, so I shouldn't have brought it up. He's extremely knowledgeable, which is good to see in a commentator. He just doesn't make use of it that much. He's more into the, similar with the Paul Fellers, of saying middle of the road stuff that's going on. His play-by-play is just very tame, very middle of the road. You know, he doesn't say outlandish stuff. He doesn't make concise statements. Is that the correct word? Probably not. So I'm going to put him in bad because he doesn't compare to Jon Anik. For a lead commentator, you have to fill the shoe a little bit. You're like stepping on either side of the shoe. I need you in the shoes, filling them a little bit, and you'll be in solid. You might even be in great. I don't hate him. I don't hate Brendan Fitzgerald, honestly. I just don't think that he's the best commentator. I'm going to move him to solid because I got other guys going in bad. Namely, I know, guys, listen, guys. I know a bunch of you just ran to the a bunch. What the fuck am I talking about? I know someone just ran to the comments and complained that I just put Mike Goldberg, couldn't remember his name there for a second, in bad. Because you grew up in the era of Mike Goldberg and Joe Rogan. They were the only two on commentary. I know you grew up watching them. They were the guys for a long time. He has some crazy calls on the mic. You know, actually, this is something I have to bring into consideration as well. The calls. This is another reason that J.A. isn't the best. J.A. has 5 of the top 5 calls of all time. I think the Leon Edwards-Kamaru Usman knockout is the best call in UFC history.
A moral victory for Leon Edwards.
But that is not the cloth from which he is cut. I mean, that is a dejected...
We had to cut there. We're back now. I forgot exactly what I was saying about Goldberg. Oh, yeah, his calls. He's got good calls. He's got, like, historic calls. But this dude does not have good commentary. I mean, I think his most memorable microphone moment is that was said by Joe Rogan. And we have to take into, especially for Goldberg, we have to take into memorable microphone moments because he's not on UFC anymore. I was watching, it might be the Francis Ngannou fight that he was commentating on, or something recently. I mean, the Francis Ngannou fight wasn't recently, but you know what I mean. It was something within the last year that he was commentating on that I thought wasn't good. Especially recently, he's kind of fallen off. But, you know, I've gone back and I've watched the first 100, all of the first 100 UFCs. He's all right. But in Big 25, he's outclassed. For early 2000s to late 2000s, he's a good commentator. In 2009, I would have put him on good. But in Big 25, buddy, it's okay though. I mean, I don't hate him. He's a cool guy, I'm sure. He's just not. He is similar with Fitzgerald on the very baseline commentary. And I was watching this fight, and he was commentating on it, and I was going, this guy, like, kind of doesn't know what he's talking about. It would be like, I'm sure it would probably be like if I was commentating a fight. Like, I have the knowledge here, and I'm sure he does. I mean, he was doing it for a long time at that point. He has the knowledge here. He just doesn't know how to spit it out properly and make it sound understandable. And so he doesn't, and he just goes with like a good shot landed there by Sean Shirk. Cool. And like that's his entire thing, right? Not good shot landed there by Sean Shirk. Joe, how long do you think his opponent's going to last? Boom. Now we're continuing this conversation, decent commentary, whatever. With my guy, Joe Rogan. I'm Mike Goldberg. I'm here tonight at the Mandalay Bay Center with my guy, Joe Rogan. You ready for some fights, Joe? He sounds like just like a fan, you know, which I can appreciate. But yeah, you're not that good. Next, John Gooden. I have a bias towards British people, I think. He's honestly not. Like, that was for a joke. But I don't like him. He is just the one-off guy, right? He does more. Does he do contender series more? I don't really know. I'm not the biggest contender series watcher. I watch them in post. Like, if I'm studying a fighter, I'll watch their contender series fight. He's just kind of the one-off guy, which is why I'm putting him in bad, because I don't have that much to say about him. He talks less than Dean Thomas. And when he's on the broadcast, it's like whatever. It's usually a fight night that they couldn't get Fitzgerald for. And so they've got John Gooden there. I don't hate the guy. I don't love him. He's a kind of a nothing to me, you know? When I was thinking about this video, before I found this tier list and I was going to just make my own, he didn't even cross my mind. I forgot he existed. So he's kind of a nothing to me. We'll continue. Dan Hardy. I'm sorry, Dan. I like Dan as a person. His only memorable UFC, and we're talking UFC here, because I know he does PFL now, but I don't listen to commentary in PFL. I'm usually busy doing something else, so I'll just put it on in the background. So I can't really have a good say on what his commentary is or was in the UFC. I mean, I've seen him commentate like 2 fights, you know? Maybe I did, actually. You know what? When did he get fired? I don't remember. The only thing that I, like, for sure know about him is when he was yelling at Herb Dean, "Stop the fight! Stop the fight, Herb!" You know? Which, I mean, it was a late stoppage, to be fair. But screaming and yelling to stop the fight isn't going to help. I'm kind of on Dean's side, Herb Dean's side in this. With, you know what I mean? I feel like it's at the end of the day, it's Dean's call. I know that that's not why he got fired. A lot of people say that it is. Apparently, he was like arguing with execs and people backstage all the time, and got in like a really bad argument with some lady. And then they said, "Yeah, you got to go." And this was like around the same time that he yelled at Herb, which I'm sure he also got in trouble for because you don't do that on commentary. You don't yell at the referee. You don't distract him, right? The only time that it's acceptable, I mean, they didn't call to stop the fight when Jalen Turner was beating the shit out of unconscious Bobby Green for 5 minutes. Not 5, but you know what I mean. The only time that's acceptable to scream to stop the fight was that thing last year where the guy got slept, like choked to sleep, and then his opponent transitions to an arm bar and breaks his arm. Because the guy couldn't tap because he was asleep, and the referee did not stop at any point. That's the only time it's acceptable to yell, stop the fight. Because at that point, you are truly endangering the safety of fighters. But you screaming, Dan Henderson, stop the fight, Dean, as soon as somebody gets knocked out, isn't helping. And it's making it more dangerous because now Herb Dean has another focus over here. Instead of focusing just on the fighters, body language and that. And the knockout wasn't even crazy. He wasn't like flatline KO'd. It was late, but it wasn't, you know, it wasn't like he should have stepped in right then and there. I understand the follow-up shots, I'm saying. That's why I'm putting Dan in bad. I feel like he's too emotional on the microphone. We're going to continue here. I would put Joe in bad. However, look at the fucking picture. The reactions are the best. The reactions are the reason I was debating having him in the top 3. The reactions alone are the reason I'm giving Joe great. Because his commentary is very frustrating to listen to. And I know Guru made a video about this recently. And I know a few other people have made videos and everybody talks about it. How he has like 15 things that he says and that's all he says. They still allow steel cups? You know that helps with an armbar, right? Wait, is that guy wearing a steel cup? They still allow those? It helps with an armbar. Oh, that leg kick is hurting him. What's another Joe Roganism? Oh, yeah. He's a marauder. Sean Brady just tapped out Leon Edwards? Who does that to a guy like Leon Edwards? He's a marauder, man. Oh, my God. Who was it? Jeff Neal just defeated RDA. RDA's a marauder. Who does that to a guy like RDA? Joe Rogan, it's 2025. RDA's like 43. Everybody would do it to RDA. Get over it, dude. It's not 2015 anymore. He's not in the top 10. He's not ranked even. He's on his way out, Joe. Jeff Neal does that to... I know that's a bad example because RDA broke his leg in the fight. It wasn't actually a knockout, but... Dude. Like, get over it. Live in the times. And then he doesn't know current day fighters. He only knows guys from 2017 or earlier. I'm surprised he knows the fighting nerds. Ow! So, I don't actually like Joe Rogan on commentary. But, I mean, look at the reactions. Joe Rogan has the best reactions, some of the best. He's funny as well. And I like him. You know what? I'll say this as well. I like him as an in-ring interviewer. He does a great job of doing that. So, it's very hit or miss. He's phenomenal on certain aspects of the game. And then the other ones, he's garbage. But I think he's more phenomenal. No, I don't think he's more phenomenal than he is garbage. But I think the phenomenal parts of him make up for and exceed the garbage parts of his commentary. Finally, Laura Sanko. I'm very happy with Laura in great tier. She's extremely, like I was saying about Fitzgerald, she's extremely knowledgeable. And she has good banter with the top guys. Fitzy doesn't have good banter with DC. Laura Sanko has good banter with everybody. And she knows the ground game to a T. She's extremely smart when it comes to submissions, you know, escaping submissions, stand-ups and everything. And she's funny. If I didn't have Dom Cruz in the top 3, I'd put Sanko. Everybody hates Sanko. I think it's because she's a woman. She's awesome, dude. She's very smart. She does Contender Series a lot, and they're kind of putting her in some fight nights here and there. She's kind of like on like the John Gooden level of not consistency, but you know what I mean. But I'm a big fan, and I'm not, you know, she's not gonna let you hit, bro. Damn it! No, I mean, genuinely, she's a good commentator, and she breaks down the ground game extremely well. And like I said earlier, she's funny. With the Shavkat thing, that makes me laugh almost every single time. And the weigh-in show, I want to bring this up. She does so good on the weigh-in show. She makes the weigh-in show. Her and DC make the weigh-in show. If it was just RJ and Fitzgerald, nobody's watching that. DC and Laura Sanko make the weigh-in show because they're both funny as fuck. And they're both smart. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you did enjoy, please consider leaving a like and subscribing, as it does really support my channel. If you agree with my takes, let me know. If you disagree, who do you have in your top 3? I want to hear about this. Who's your guys' top 3 commentators? Is Joe Rogan? Is DC out? Are we DC haters? Is Joe Rogan in the top 3? Let me know. Leave a comment.